right, we are Oh gosh, sorry, CrossWinds. I hit my desk. Hey everyone, welcome back to the CrossWinds Church More Than Sunday podcast. I'm here with Jodie.
Hello, CrossWinds. Hi.
Hey.
Hey.
It has been a long time since we've recorded one of these podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I feel bad calling it the More Than Sunday podcast, Jodie, because it's
been
much
more than Sunday.
It's been
longer than Sunday.
Yeah, it's been more than I think 2 months since we've had one of these. Sorry, everyone. So
good.
Just to be clear, when we started this, I was so ambitious. I thought, you know what? We're going to do a podcast every weekday of the pandemic. We're going to do a podcast every weekday. And then what's going to happen is we'll be able to stay in touch with our people and share what's going on around here and all this stuff. Well, that's when I thought the pandemic was going to be 2 months.
I was just going to say that. It's going to be a little longer than that.
Or 3 months, maybe. And I thought, all right, what, we do like 20 episodes, 30 episodes? Well, here we are. I think we did 50, 60 episodes.
Yeah. We're way past that.
At some point, I didn't mean for us to stop doing them, but things got really busy. And then they snowballed into... We've got a lot going on around here with tiny homes for Goodness Village. I think people know about that. And anyway, at some point, lots of other work to get done around here, which may be hard to believe, I guess, when you're in a pandemic. You probably wonder what we're doing all day around here. But
we're back. We're back doing podcasts. So here we go.
At least
kind of one.
At least this one. So there's been a lot going on. Jodie, you've been leading out this effort through Creekside Center for these classes that we offer for Gathering, right?
Yes, we did one round of classes. We had about 100 people coming out on Sundays, socially distanced in groups of 25 or less. We had about 5 classes going on. It went so well. We scheduled round 2 and have yet to resume round 2 due to toxic air. Let's just say that. You know what I mean by that. And but it looks like we're going to get to resume this weekend.
Yeah, this is we're recording this on Wednesday night, and we're looking out the window here at church, and it is
beautiful
blue sky, almost blue, right? You can see the hills a little bit. Our air quality is back.
I feel like we should knock on wood when you say that, though.
I think this desk is made of particle board.
Do it.
But we'll do it. All right. Well, part of why we're doing this one, and if you're listening to this, it's probably because you got an email. We wanted to talk about Regathering. We are ready to start to do something that more closely resembles worship services around here again. And I thought it would be wise to record a podcast where we could kind of explain the process that's gone into that thinking and all of that good stuff. Right. And so I asked Jodie to do this with me so we could just kind of talk that through together. If everybody remembers, we had a service way back, months and months and months ago. I feel like it's 5 or 6 months ago. I don't know, where we talked about what our kind of regathering phases would be. And phase 1, I believe, was small groups and on campus small groups, meeting socially distant. We've had groups do that. Phase 2 was these classes through Creekside Center. That's been really good. And we've been in that phase now for a long time. Phase 3, our plan was to do these worship nights, barn and branch, of 50 or less people. The classes were 25 or less. The barn and branch is 50 or less. And what we've come to realize now, a little further into this pandemic and understanding the nature of this virus, singing is not a smart thing to do. And we've kind of known that, but I think we were hoping there'd be some ways kind of around that. And the truth of it is, a 30-minute barn and branch or an hour-long barn and branch, maybe not the wisest thing to try to do right now.
Yeah, so maybe we should skip that one.
Right, maybe.
Maybe.
Or maybe we
do
should
a hybrid of something.
do it another way, right? Maybe we somehow do that incredibly distant with masks on and all of those things. Right. And then the fourth phase for us that we thought would make the most sense would be to do 100 or less in our auditorium in front of like what we'd call like a studio audience or something, where we'd record that on a Thursday, and it would be the service that would get distributed over video on Sunday.
Right.
Well, here's what's been happening, CrossWinds. Almost every other week, I am on a phone call with a number of pastors from the Tri-Valley. And in fact, a growing number of pastors are on that call, and our health department in Alameda County. And, we have been as a county kind of stuck in this phase here for a long time. A little while back, our county finally gave the go-ahead to open up outdoor worship services for church at 100 or less. And CrossWinds had to make a decision. Are we ready to do this? This is probably at least a month and a half, 2 months ago. Are we ready to do this? Do we feel like it's safe yet? Should we wait a little longer till they open up more and we can do more? Because we knew and we know 100 or less is not going to be enough to get everybody from CrossWinds back on campus regathering. So we started talking about that and thought we would wait a little while longer. Well, this past week, last Thursday on the call, I had a chance to ask a couple of questions. And by the way, our county health department has done a great job at really being professional and thinking through these things. So this is no fault of theirs, but I just asked the question, what are the indicators that will let you know as a health department when you're comfortable with churches going to 200 or 300 or 500 or 100 indoors instead of outdoors? And you guys, no one can answer that question. Jodie, no one can answer that question. I asked it. They couldn't answer it.
No, I believe it. I think there's just a lot of confusion in terms of what the county should be doing.
Well, I'm not even saying the county's not doing something right. I can't even fathom what it would be to be the county and have barbershops and dance studios and all these different businesses that you have to think, well, what are the nuances where we're cool with them opening and this other group opening? And it's just to say, I don't think they've been able to put a lot of thought into churches and when they're cool with them going inside or having more than 100 or any of those things.
Sure. So as you're on that phone call, it's led us to a conclusion of something that we need to do here at CrossWinds, and that's what we want to talk about.
Yeah. You're moving me along. I see what you're doing here, Jodie.
I am.
So in addition to that, we've started hearing from a number of you who are going, hey, are we ever going to meet again? Like, in fact, somebody had Instagrammed us or I don't know, written us and just said, with all of this outdoor space, like we have like 35 acres. If we're allowed to do 100 or less outside, why are we not doing it? And go ahead.
Yeah. And so that's something that we've been hearing a lot. And then, it was so interesting and touching actually when we did drive-through communion CrossWinds and we had people just coming onto campus and several people just driving up and tears in their eyes, just the fact that they were here on campus again. Yeah. We were realizing that it was such a need for people to be back here, just for them to connect with a pastor and be here. It really started to stir something in us as a leadership team that maybe there's something that we need to be doing to get people back.
Yeah. I think as we've looked at that and we've thought about, well, when would we be comfortable and what is our plan? I'll just tell you personally, I have thought when a vaccine comes out, when we can get everyone immunized, is that immunized?
Yeah, you're right. Immunized.
It doesn't sound right.
It's a word.
There's been so little of it that I guess I can't say it anymore. No, I've thought we'll do it then. And, I think in our heads, we were hoping for a November, December, maybe even January immunization. And here, I was reading today in the paper, I'll just read this. There was the director of the CDC today, this is Wednesday, spoke to a Senate Appropriations Subcommittee and said, yes, there'll be a limited supply, maybe in November or December. It'll probably go to first responders. But if you want to talk about when it's going to be available to the general American public, literally, we'll probably look at third quarter of 2021. Yeah. And I think it's when we hear things like that and read things like that, we go, oh no, we can't wait to regather in outdoor settings until literally a year or more from when we stopped. It's not good for people spiritually. There's so many, issues with that.
Yeah. There's gotta be a half step kind of in between mass gathering again indoors and what we're doing now with our Sunday classes. There is a movement forward, and that's what we're going to present to you CrossWinds and tell you about.
So here's what we're going to do. Fully within the law, this is allowable in Alameda County as of right now. We are going to, starting next Sunday, we should have an actual date, Jodie.
September 27th.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's one more great reason you're here. September 27th. So not this Sunday. And this is a podcast, so that's irrelevant because people listen to these things 5 years later.
Right.
But, September 27th, 2020, we will be having our first outdoor service on a Sunday morning.
Right.
Our plan is to use a space that we've got over by the Knot Barn, kind of a cleared space that is right near the creek that we feel like we could fit 100 or less, socially distant, in little huddle groups based around, you and your whoever you're with, that come sit together. And our plan is to start doing those at 9 a.m. On September 27th. And what you would do, CrossWinds, if you want to come to those, is that you would reserve space so we can make sure that there are no more than 100 people at those. Now, as I say that, I don't know if there'll be 20 people at those. we have no idea what to expect. And frankly, we're going to have to keep doing the online video thing because we know there's so many hundreds more, thousands more who call this place church home and are going to want to watch it online. So we can't take away from that. We're going to continue to do that and put a lot of all the same creative energy we've been putting into those online videos every single Sunday. We know there are a lot of you who would feel way more comfortable staying home watching that. You may have a pre-existing condition that would put you at risk that makes you say, I don't want to put myself in that spot. Or you may be somebody who, even beyond that, maybe you've got little kids. And what we're about to tell you is we don't have a children's ministry option at that right now because of the virus and all that goes into that. But there may be a number of reasons why a number of you can't go to that. That's why this video is incredibly important. And even if there weren't a number of reasons, we can only do 100. So we're going to keep doing the videos and they'll still be released and available on Sunday mornings. But in addition, we'll now have this for people who want to go to it.
Yeah. And so if you've got kids, I can't imagine anything harder than trying to pay attention to a worship service and also have to pay attention to socially distancing your kids at the same time.
Yeah.
So as Chris said, it's kind of important that this is not for like elementary age school or even our level up aged school kids. Mayor Piney is working on some options for those
who know that's our children's director.
That's our children's director, Josh Piney. He calls himself Mayor Piney, or the mayor.
Yeah.
He's working on some family worship service options. So be on the lookout for that. But in the meantime, until we actually have that, what we're saying is the Sunday regathering option is for middle school and above. And so for those of you who are wondering, how do I reserve my space? You can actually do that online on our website. You'll see we've got a banner at the top of our webpage, and be looking for the registration in that little black banner at the top. It'll say Sunday Regathering or something like that. You can reserve your space 1 week at a time.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I think our fear is that some of you will go, I'm going to go to this every week forever. And you're going to sign up for 4 at once. You're going to go to one and be like, it was pretty great watching that in my PJs while I had a bowl of cereal in bed. And so you'll have taken up spaces other people could use. And so we're going to make it where you can only sign up for 1 week at a time. And then that'll allow for more people to have a chance, I hope, to sign up and experience that who want to. And when are we hoping that registration will be open? By the time this thing premieres, at least this podcast goes out?
Maybe by the time this podcast goes out, definitely by every Sunday morning.
Yeah.
The registration link will be up for the following Sunday's service.
So this Sunday, the 20th, if you watch our service and you decide, I'm going to go online after that and register to be there in person next week, then you can do that. What else should you know about this? Let's see.
Well, should you bring anything with you?
Yes. You are going to want to bring a lawn chair. The way we're doing this for the purposes of sanitariness or sanitation, as we call it, if we have a couple of brain cells that I don't have today, sanitation, we're asking you to bring a lawn chair and sit with that in that space. We are so I should explain what the service is going to be. That would be important. This is going to be the same message from me or Jodie or Andrea or whomever that you would have seen on the video that day. So if you're like, I'll watch the video and then I'll go to church, well, you're in for the same content. So that's not smart. There'll be a couple of songs. We will do like 2 worship songs or so. Derek or someone will be leading that. It will not be the full band. It'll most likely be somebody on a guitar or something along those lines. With that, we'll all be wearing masks out there. All of you, I should say, who will be watching this will be wearing masks, and you're welcome to sing along from behind a mask. That's not ideal, I know. I've tried it a few times in my car. I take my mask off in my car. I always think it's funny how I see people driving with masks on in their car. Really?
All the time.
Why? What's he afraid of?
We tease him about it.
Is he just afraid he's going to forget to put it on when he leaves?
Possibly. Yeah, but we laugh at him.
Yeah.
We're super supportive.
No, so you'll be wearing masks, and that's part of why that's not a longer worship set, because we know it's going to be a little bit tedious. There won't be video screens out there. When I say that, what I really practically mean is we don't have TVs in this space that we're going, so there won't be worship lyrics. So Derek is going to be choosing some songs that are really easy to follow, and you may know the lyrics from long ago. I was like, I'm going to do a little How Great Is Our God.
Lord, I lift your name on high.
Lord, I lift. You know what? You remember As the Deer?
I love that.
We could do As the Deer, which I think I was in like 5th grade when somebody taught us that. And they're deer right there.
Oh, you could actually see them while you're singing about them.
This space we're going, there have been deer every single day of the last week. These deer are always in this space. So we'll be in that space. Let's see. So that's what it'll look like. There'll probably be a very short announcement slot and offering. But there will not be if you're used to drama or filmed pieces that we've put together, or I don't know, any of the usual CrossWinds creative arts pieces, even this performance song type thing, all of that will be stripped out of this. And as such, it'll be a little bit of a shorter service. I think it's probably going to be closer to 40 minutes or so. And that'll be part of that experience.
Yeah. So it'll be a little shorter, about 45 minutes. So if you're coming at 9:00, from 9 to 9:45, you could go to service. And then if you're signed up for a Creekside class at 10:00, you can go right to your Creekside class as well. So this does not interfere if you have signed up for a class on Sunday morning. You could actually do both if you wanted to.
You could still go to both. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. And don't feel like you can't go to this if you signed up for a class. They're separate experiences altogether. If you did sign up for a class, you also need to sign up for this if you want to go for the service.
Sign up for both. You have to sign up for both.
Yeah.
So Chris, I have a question for you as we're talking about this.
Yeah.
Things have been so unpredictable lately. I know with the Creekside classes, we've had to...
Unpredictable?
Unpredictable.
What do you mean?
We've got
anything,
kinds of things.
2020 has been like textbook. Everything's gone the way it was supposed to.
We have postponed our Creekside classes 2 times due to toxic air.
Yeah.
And so as we're moving into a season where weather becomes even more and more unpredictable on top of everything else that's unpredictable, how do we know if the services are actually going to happen that Sunday morning?
Yeah, so this is another, you guys, this is so, you can see why it took us so long to want to regather. If you've signed up for a class, what we would really want you to do is that Sunday morning before you get here at 9, at like 8 or 7 or whenever you wake up, log on to the same website that you signed up on and see if we're still meeting that day. Now, look, our commitment is not to cancel this because we just don't feel like it or we're all on vacation or something like that.
Right.
We're going to do it, but you never know that it isn't going to rain. It's not in the forecast to rain at 9 a.m. and we've got electronic equipment out there. We can't do that, or that it didn't get incredibly cold and keep us from being able to do that. So, Jodie, you'll have to check or the air quality isn't bad, right?
Exactly.
Or whatever.
You're going to have to check. If you've signed up to come to service, you're going to have to check every Sunday morning to make sure service is still on, because we are at the mercy of the elements out here. We don't have a roof covering or anything like that shields us from rain or falling acorns as we have out out here sometimes.
Yes.
But you'll have to check every Sunday. So, all systems go unless you check the website and it says service canceled.
Well, and I hope on the website we can say all systems are go.
Yeah.
That either way we'll have a message there telling you what's coming with that.
For sure.
You'll come. It'll be the kind of thing you'll know ahead of time is still going to happen. You're going to bring a chair. You're going to need to wear a mask. That's a really important piece of this. You'll need to sit clumped into your group that you've come with. I would say this too. I know Jodie mentioned kids before. I just want to go back to that. We're looking at ways to try to put on some kind of service for families eventually, but we don't know that younger kids are going to be able to go to kids ministry without their parents and be safe and socially distant. Right. So whatever we create is going to have to be for kids with their parents there. Right. And that is quite a bit more complicated and a little more involved than us being able to just very quickly get these other things we're talking to you about right now up and running. Right. If you said, hey, I want to come, we want to bring our family, I'd encourage you to just think about that. And so here, I've got a 17-year-old. Oh my gosh, I've got a 17-year-old as of like 2 weeks ago.
Who's applying to colleges?
I know. I've got a 17-year-old. I've got a 12-year-old. My 17-year-old could do it. I think my 12-year-old could probably do this. Do you feel like your kids could do this?
I feel like my 12-year-old could do this.
Yeah.
My third grader probably would
not.
Way.
I don't want your third grader there, Jodie.
No. So we're not going to be bringing our third grader.
No. So I guess I would just say, if you feel like you could keep your kids engaged in, I don't want to say in control. That sounds so bad, but I just said it on a podcast.
Socially distanced.
Yeah.
And occupied.
Well, and then not also distract. I mean, I want people to come all the way out here and then not be able to focus because
that would be hard.
It's a kid doing jumping jacks in the front row. That said, are you okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just funny. I'm picturing it.
Well, it's happened many times before.
Yeah.
No, I think it's not fun for you either as a parent to have to be focused on your kids during something like this. And so we hate to split up families and say, don't bring your kids, or if you're married to somebody, take your turns coming. I don't know, but it's just, we know that this isn't for everyone. It's why we're going to be doing the online thing and putting so much into that. I think this will be a good thing. We've spent the last couple of days out here allowing a group of pastors on our campus, socially distant, to do kind of a formation thing through an organization we've been working with for a number of years now. And wow, to see this group out here on the campus, learning, worshiping, greeting each other. I mean, getting to be in group, even though they're socially distant in those groups.
Using our campus,
going on a walk after they've listened to a message through the prayer path, sitting in a hammock that's been sprayed down and disinfected.
It's true.
It's really good. And we want that for you.
Yep. It brings you hope.
Yes. So the other piece I'll say is this won't be able to go on indefinitely. We don't know, but just looking at historic weather, we know that we might be able to get through November in this. And by the way, that's part of why we're doing this right now. We want to get as many in as we can before the weather gets bad. So it might be through November. We may get into December where we're still able to do this. There'll probably be 2 or 3 months where we have to stop doing it. Yeah. And we'll have to, come back once the weather's fine. I know we're going to change that 9:00 time. I guarantee it.
Yep.
It's going to start at 9. I wouldn't be surprised if in 4 or 5 weeks, the sun changes. The sun changes.
Daylight savings ends.
There's science for you. Did you know the sun changes every October? God. I don't know. Did you know that? The sun changes in the fall and then it changes again in the spring, Jodie.
Crazy. It's so unpredictable.
No. Anyway, as daylight changes, we'll probably move that to 10. As it gets colder, we might move it to 11 because we know it'll be a little bit warmer by 11, and we might move it to 2:00. So a lot to that's again where you'll have to just keep your eyes on it, and we'll be committed to making sure we communicate.
Yeah, and can we just say thank you for being on the journey with us? You've just kind of followed in step with us every step of the way through this pandemic. And whether you're following us online or watching us online or you're showing up in person, just thank you for being on this journey with us.
Yeah.
We appreciate you trusting us with that.
And you guys, we miss you so much.
So bad.
Like when I have a chance to see someone, I walked in the other day while our band was recording rehearsal, and it was such a joyful thing to see faces I have not seen since March. And, it was so cool. I don't know. I think you'll feel the same way once you get out here. So hope you take advantage of it. Mm-hmm. And as we say around CrossWinds, everything's an experiment. So we might do 1 week of this and all of us say, wow, that was terrible. Let's not do that anymore. Or we might say that was incredible. Let's keep going and doing more and more, and as many of those as we possibly can. So
all right,
everyone.
Registration form will be up this Sunday for September 27th.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. Thanks for listening. We'll talk to you guys soon.
Bye.